Hi, this is Jonathan Fields, host of The Good Life Project, where each week I talk to listeners about investing in their future by increasing their own vitality. But when it comes to those financial goals, whether it be saving for a home renovation, growing your child's college fund, or travel, life can make it difficult to stay the course. By working with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. Having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill's with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.
You should celebrate yourself every day, but some days you should celebrate with jewelry. Whether you want to commemorate an unforgettable moment or just bring some added sparkle to your collection, Blue Nile can offer you expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com today and experience the ease and convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives, the podcast where a monogamous couple drink heavily while recapping Sister Wives on TLC.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. It felt good to be back and saying that. It's been a few weeks.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, on the public feed here.
Did you forget?
We've been doing some Patreon episodes. We've had some other stuff still dropping around.
But we are back, and this is Season 18, Episode 19. I guess this is technically part of last season.
They didn't want to put it in the extras section of the Max app because
no one would
that was
find
just,
it.
yeah, well, nobody would find it. And it was just Mary and Robin's weird episodes that they didn't air with the rest of the season. From Season 8, I think. That's the only extras for this show right now.
Mary behind the scenes.
But what they did do is they changed the photo, so it's not a Sister Wives cover photo on there. It's the Christine and David
wedding special
takeover that's going on right now.
Again, because no one would be able to find the episode if they didn't do that.
This is true.
Although, Cody and Robin are real shitty at home seeing that. And we know they have to be after we saw the talk back and the look back, especially the talk back, which we heard you. We know we said we're not going to cover these. We are.
Well, just after, we'll get to it now after the wedding special. Maybe we'll have some additional context that we can apply, another filter for those, since everybody demanded that we cover those episodes. So
they were better than expected. So we'll recap this part 1 of the wedding special. The next week we'll do part 2, and then we'll go into the look backs and the talk backs.
The TLC description for this one is, after years of struggling in her plural marriage to Cody, Christine Brown has met the love of her life, David Woolley. After a year-long courtship, well, give or take, they are getting married. Set against the majestic red rocks of Moab, Utah, Christine gets the traditional wedding she has always dreamed of having. But there was a lot of things that weren't traditional about this wedding. And
she
was
made a point of saying, we're not doing anything traditional, baby.
So they should have put that in quotes or something, traditional, wink, wink. Not really.
Untraditional. Although it wasn't like they did anything crazy that we've seen so far.
What about that Carly episode rewrite description for this one?
I feel like I improved on it a little bit.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Christine saves enough grocery money for the wedding of her dreams. Caleb discovers a bromance with David. Mykelti pushes for a December wedding.
Well, it was good that they got to use our joke that we supplied for them. We didn't get a writing credit. We didn't get a producer credit. That's unfortunate. But
It was low-hanging fruit.
it was word for word what we joked with them about on their Patreon.
I'm pretty sure. Although we're not signed up for the Patreon anymore, so I can't double check.
Well, I mean, but it was definitely, that was it. That was in there.
It was when the engagement was announced. All right, that's a good segue to our announcements for this week. We already gave you the one. Look backs, talk packs, they're happening, so stay tuned for that. Then we received a flood of voicemails from y'all while we were out for 2 weeks. So we're going to listen to a few of those and answer them at the end of the episode. What's going on in the social medias, Corey? Man, you really took a break.
I don't know. Well, we didn't review the notes of the announcements.
Okay.
I don't have much.
Mary adopted a dog.
Yeah.
She finally has a companion for life.
Nobody can replace Drake, though.
Oh,
God's plan.
I hope now that she has severed her relationship with Robin, this dog is safe.
Oh, God, I hope so. Yeah. Everybody in the comments was saying that she should name the dog Cody, and she didn't get it. She kept asking, why would I do that? Why would I want to name a dog Cody?
The dog's name is Zona. I guess like Arizona. Did I make that up?
Sure, that sounds like a thing.
I mean, this is like an adult dog. It had a name before it came to Mary. So I feel like that's very confusing.
To just rename a dog?
Yeah, it's already gone through a lot. You know, being adopted, being in a new place. Now you're going to change its name.
Change is inevitable.
You know, he's no Natalia Grace.
I guess not.
I think it's a female dog.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I didn't pay that much attention.
Well, yeah, to name it Cody, she should name it Karma. if it's a girl dog, she should name it Karma.
That would be Mary's dog's name. All right. And then Mary was on fire, man. Friday with Friends last week was crazy.
Well, they were popping off because the talkback episodes did so well, and Jen made an appearance on the talkbacks. So they were like, oh, wow, we should do this more often. And it was like, yeah, this is why everybody has asked you for years when you've been doing Friday with Friends, can you talk about the show?
That was like number one rule. We're not here to
mention-
talk about the show.
We're not here to talk about Sister Wives, the show.
Now they've like slightly bent the rules where it's like we can talk about the show, but we can't say anyone's names.
Not
Okay.
naming names. It seems like a weird workaround. And what are you avoiding?
I don't know. I feel like it wasn't an official thing that she was told she couldn't do.
No, she just has to come up with different rules so she could still ban people in the comments if they're annoying her.
So I guess we'll see when the next edition of Friday with Friends happens, if they continue to talk about the show. But that was definitely a surprise. And I feel like there are lots of you out there who are probably upset that you've been banned for asking about the show during Friday with Friends.
Rightfully so. Yeah, to just change up the rules like that.
You got to go back and unban people, Mary.
She's not going to do that.
At some point, do like social medias have a limit as to how many people you can ban?
The limit does not exist.
Apparently. All right. And finally, as a reminder, you can join us over in the virtual cul-de-sac at our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod, where we have recaps of seasons 1 through 10 of Sister Wives. We have a plethora of Let's Talk About It episodes like the one you listened to last week about Natalia Grace. And we have chats going on in the Discord every day talking about this show, other topics, paranormal shit, all kinds of stuff, whatever your heart desires.
And remember, every dollar you pledge makes us just a little bit more successful than My Sister Wife's Closet. Huge thank you to all of our patrons out there, except for the Basement Wife tier, as always.
All right, this special started, and it was kind of weird because they really just dropped us right in like it was a regular episode. We had watched all the lead up to the wedding, and here we are. We're in the driveway at the rental, and the wedding's happening in 2 days.
Well, if we were in Flagstaff, there probably would have been some donkey footage to start things off, but we're not even there.
It was like large cavernous areas filled with mud.
They did
you
some
notice
aerial, they had some aerial drone footage that they were swooping shots over some bodies of water near rocks.
The water's debatable. It was very muddy.
It wasn't a plague pond situation or anything, but
You're right. We're used to that. It really wasn't shocking.
it was better than the plague pond.
This whole thing was really disjointed at the beginning because they have to give us the whole history of Christine and David's relationship because we haven't seen it play out yet.
We don't know these people.
I mean, literally, this is a man we met in the last part of the tell-all, and now they're getting married.
And this is New Adventures with Old Christine. We don't know this woman. She's completely different.
Is she? You feel like she was different?
I don't know who this person is.
She seemed a little manic.
A little bit.
She's excited.
In more ways than one.
in a lot of
every
ways.
way.
They've only been together for 10 months.
Dating for 10 months. So how long have they been engaged?
Not long. Remember
Not long.
Yeah, not long. 6 months? Something like that?
So
Let's
you were
talk about the 10 months. Can we talk about the 10 months
But you
again?
were dating for 4 months and then you got engaged because you've been together for 10 months.
Well, remember when they got engaged and we were all thinking, okay, maybe they've really been together for longer than we thought, but it was just like they kept it quiet because they didn't want anyone to know they were together.
That was my hope and dream.
No, that's
that is
not it.
Not the case.
Now, 10 months, it's debatable. Do you really know someone in that period of time? We ended up with Robin in 10 months. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think we vetted her well enough.
I think Cody got to know her pretty well in those 10 months, but nobody else in the family did.
As did Christine and David. They got to know each other pretty well.
Carnally.
I mean, I understand. They're both in a late stage of life. And they've been married previously. They've kind of done the whole life thing, and they know what they're looking for in another person. But I guess the thing that scares me the most about 10 months is Truly.
Well, yeah, and moving in.
Yeah, I just feel like she's already been through a lot, that kid. And what's the rush? Why not just be happy being together and not having to be married? Wow, we're really shitting on this from the beginning, huh?
I wasn't excited about this.
The period of time.
Well, just in general, the episode too. Well, we were about to watch it and I was kind of dreading it. Eventually, I warmed up to it. I enjoyed it once we got into this. But you could say the same thing about a Stockholm Syndrome sort of situation in any way, where I enjoyed it once I was a part of it, sure. And general complaints too, where people were complaining about how this is a 1 hour thing, next week is a 1 hour thing. Why didn't we just jam this into a 2 hour special as a standalone thing? Seems like TLC's probably trying to pad some in-between seasons timing for some other shows, and that's a big part of what was going on with the scheduling, because it seemed like all the talkbacks, the lookbacks, and this wedding special were just kind of slapped together last minute.
Yeah, well, they need to save time before that new show starts, where it's like 90 Day, where nobody speaks the same language. They're not allowed to use any translators, but they have to date each other.
Had to bridge the gap.
October 7th, significant, 2 days before Robin's birthday.
We got a whole rundown of the roster of everybody who's going to be in attendance for this thing. Christine has a bunch of siblings, so 9 of her siblings are going to be there. Her dad, her mom, her other mom. Janelle's invited, Janelle's kids, everybody. It's interesting that we didn't list who's not attending, which would be Gwen.
Invited but not attending.
Invited but not attending. I
Yeah.
think that's interesting.
At one point, she mentioned one of her siblings can't come. One of Christine's siblings. But not one of my children can't come.
Not that one.
They just pretend that Gwen doesn't exist. Like, they thought we wouldn't catch it, that we don't know all the children in the family.
Glossing over it. Yeah, we don't see Gwen at any point in time because she will not be participating.
No, there wasn't even like a message cut in of like, oh, I can't come to the wedding, but like, I really am excited for my mom and David. Nope, just doesn't exist. We're supposed to think she's someone else's kid.
Not there. But if there's any kid that's going to be there, we know it's going to be Mykelti. She's going to be leading the charge here. So here comes Tony Mykelti busting down the door with a couple of babies that we don't know exist yet.
Man, she was in rare form this episode. Rare form. The babies, can we talk about them?
I don't know what you're talking about because there is no baby.
Right. We haven't seen them be born yet, so this is confusing. The one with the darker hair. I want that baby.
Oh, boy. We got a Code Pink situation going on.
I wasn't willing to pay for the Christmas texts. I'm willing to pay for that baby.
You're trying to purchase a baby now?
I mean, perhaps.
On the podcast?
I don't know.
Okay.
I probably won't want a baby by then.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm even going to want a baby in 8 months. Probably not.
Adorable. The babies that we don't know. We didn't even get an introduction to them. They just like handed them off to Christine at one point, and we're just accepting that they are here.
Now, for juxtaposition purposes, we have all the happiness, the joy that's going on. Christine's getting excited. Her children are coming over, grandchildren. We have to go back to Coyote Pass and ask Robin and Cody how they feel about all this.
Okay, is this not what we thought these things would play out like as we got further past Christine's divorce? That it would just be everyone else out enjoying their life, full of joy and happiness, and Cody and Robin miserable.
Yeah, because it's Cody chopping down a tree and just swearing at it, yelling at the tree as it's falling over. I don't know what he's doing out here.
Robin was there to cheer him on, though, like a cheerleader. Did you hear?
She was helping.
She was like, woo, when the tree fell down.
Was she helping?
No.
She had a hat. I don't think she's done any sort of labor in her entire life. This is probably another one of those examples.
Did you notice her t-shirt? She definitely chose this one to send a message like, Mary loves a good tee with some words on it.
Mm-hmm.
It said, life is good. She went to the Jeep store just to make sure that she got a shirt to wear to send a message to Christine.
It should say life was good. And I don't know if it currently actively is now good, but it was.
She's trying to put on her best face to make us believe that things are just swell over at the Shira Chateau. And of course, we're here to ask about the wedding. It's the wedding weekend. What do you think about that?
Cody has to jump on that answer, but he's going to circumvent that with a whole story about how he found out about the wedding. None of these questions were asked. He's just going to go into the whole tirade, his train of thought.
Well, it's another betrayal, right? Because no one even told him, which is funny. He didn't find out from one of his children that this wedding was happening. He found out because he was at his sister's house and he saw the wedding invitation, which is also a betrayal because his family members have been invited to this wedding, but he has not.
And he's fine with that. He's been angry for the last 3 years, but he's fine with that.
I mean, you took the divorce so well. I'm not really sure why you wouldn't get an invite to the wedding.
But through this story, he's not hitting the lines of dialogue that he and Robin have rehearsed. So she's getting upset. He's missed his mark. She's getting frustrated with him. And she has to interject and say, aren't we just so happy for them? Because that was the sentiment that you're supposed to convey in this scene, but you're not doing that.
She came across disingenuous when she said it, though, but I understand the way you're taking it, right? Which was she was trying to coach Cody through the lines. That's what you're supposed to be saying. You're just so happy for them.
You missed the point of it here. Yeah, this is what we're trying to do. And Cody has to double back. Oh, no, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was getting to that. I am. I hope that they're happy.
He tries to say something about soulmates. I found my soulmate. I'm glad she found her soulmate.
He's parroting. That's what his children have been told by Christine. So he was repeating something that they had heard from Christine.
Okay, well, it was almost a good soundbite.
It wasn't him being positive about this. Let's make that abundantly clear.
Well, I guess Robin, speaking Cody, picked up on that because she interjects and says, I hope they can be happy.
I hope Christine and David can be happy.
Can be happy. That is a see you next Tuesday thing to say. It is. Not, I hope they're happy. I hope they can be happy, which implies Christine could have been happy here with us. She just chose not to be. So I hope she can be happy with David.
In her life of sin.
I mean, the divorce is almost official.
Let's be real. By Robin's standards, Christine's been divorced for a while.
Okay, the beginning of this whole thing was a hard push to get us invested in David. Every child had to tell us how much they love David, starting with Mykelti.
Of course, Mykelti leads the charge. Mykelti loves David. She loves teasing David because that is how Mykelti shows affection. She has her relationship with her mom where she teases her mom. She teases everybody that she cares about, which I absolutely despise. But okay.
I kind of feel like she took a lot of that growing up, though. I'm like, is that a learned behavior?
Well, that was because people generally didn't know what to do with her. I think that was a big part of it. And I think she's used to a lot of ridicule, but that's not necessarily playful teasing.
No, not the same thing. We have to talk about something you mentioned there. So Christine, after the episode aired, posted on Instagram a little message about how thankful she was that Mykelti accepted David. It was an edited message with the comments turned off because the first thing she said was something about how Mykelti was the first of the kids to accept and love David, which some people took like, well, it's not a competition, so like, why are we calling her out for that? Why do we get accolades?
Elevating Mykelti's love for David because she was the first one to accept him of Christine's kids.
She's also been the one consistently who does not care about anyone's behavior and will cast that all aside to have good relationships with every single person in the family.
Well, yeah, or what she interprets as good relationships.
And I'm not saying that that means there's anything wrong with David. I'm just saying this is pretty par for the course for Mykelti, that she's going to be your cheerleader.
It's expected behavior for her.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to make waves. She's playing both sides every time. So part of the teasing was the December wedding comment.
That was the joke. That was the good joke.
We don't know David well enough. He's not from a polygamous family, which apparently he is.
Kind of is, yeah. He has sisters down in Mexico who live polygamy, which Christine then, that was red flag. She was like, oh, so are you ever interested in that? He's like, no.
No, don't ever say that word again.
Okay. Well, get used to hearing that question because every interview that we do from here on out, they're going to ask you if you plan on living polygamy.
Are they going to take David for froyo and ask him if he wants to live polygamy?
Every frozen dessert that you can think of, they're going to take him out on camera and ask him if he's ever thought about living polygamy. Have you decided yet, though?
I'm pretty sure they're decided in that.
I think he's done decided. But this is the hype session. We're trying to get everybody rooting for David and Christine, and we have to have everybody rooting for this wedding. Otherwise, what are we watching for? So this is Christine getting the wedding of her dreams. Comparatively, it's not going to take much to surpass her wedding with Cody, because that was pretty much basically on par with like a funeral. I would say.
It was very hobbled together, even though it seems like Christine was the one who planned everything. Didn't love her dress. Like, admittedly, she did not love her dress. Didn't love the groom.
Definitely didn't love the groom.
Didn't love that her mom wasn't able to be there.
It was a closed, small, secret service that was exclusive. It was a simple dinner. There wasn't anything extravagant about it because Christine's a plural wife. So, not like Robin, who
got the dancing and the ceremony and
it was funny
all of it.
How she mentioned that in passing, where it was a small, secret, simple thing because she was a plural wife. And it's like, well, yeah, but we all saw what Robin's wedding was like as a quote unquote plural wife.
Well, she's the only wife now. So she got an only wife wedding.
Basically, yeah.
This is Rob Parker from The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Here to tell you, Toyota's legacy has been standing tall for generations. From pioneering hybrid technology to redefining the standards of safety and efficiency, with each innovation, a commitment to progress. And with the legendary lineup of in-stock trucks, including the ultra-rugged new Tacoma and heavy-duty half-ton Tundra, you can experience the legacy of Toyota for yourself. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals, to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, this is Farnoosh Torabi, host of the Webby-winning podcast, So Money. If you're aiming for a goal, be it saving for a house, growing your family, or retiring, life makes it difficult to stay the course. But with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. Having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill's with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass f- So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower, above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and T-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We did find out one sneaky little tidbit about Christine's dating, because when she met David, she was actually not intending on finding anybody serious relationship material. She was just dating around, trying to have some fun. She actually had a double date booked.
She had 2 dates in a night. She was about to go on a date with someone else after him.
She had a backup plan, which I guess is probably good, because then if the first guy's a dud too, you could just leave early and then go on to your next one.
Yeah, you have a reason to get out.
It's great.
You know what? I got another date.
I'm not going to fault her for that. Yeah. So.
And it went so well that she called the matchmaker right after she had this date, because she was like, forget it. I'm done. This is my soulmate. I don't need the assistance of you anymore. I would like my deposit back, please.
Well, I think this was a point of confusion for a lot of people watching too, because then that's what people were like, wait, did she have the matchmaker? But then she was talking about an app. She found David. She met up with David. Was that part of that? So I think what happened was Christine was casting a wide net at this point, right? Where she was not only working with a matchmaker directly, but then she was also out on apps swiping all over the place. Obviously, she lined herself up with a double header here. What ended up happening was she met up with David. It went so well. She called the other guy. Didn't even go on that second date. Not necessary. But then that's not the only person she called, because then she had to call the matchmaker and say, your services are no longer required. Thank you so much. I've already found this dude on a separate app and we're good.
That's a real leap of faith, isn't it? Unless she was like, forget it. I'm finding better quality guys on these apps, which seems to be like the counter experience of most people.
It seems like, yeah, usually when you go to a matchmaker, then do people still continue dating on the side too? I don't know. I haven't gone through that process.
Haven't you seen Indian matchmaking? People definitely do that.
They're still dating on their own too?
Yeah. And then they come back to the matchmaker and they're like, you know what? Sorry, I found someone else without you.
Oh, okay.
And then they say the matchmaker sucked.
Yeah. And then the matchmaker's like, well, good luck with that, because your signs aren't compatible.
We'll see you back here next season.
Right. So we're having mimosas and snacks, I guess, now.
It's the day before the wedding.
We're rehearsal day today. We're going to rehearse the wedding.
Yes.
I think.
And I guess do face masks. They said they were going to have a spa day and I got excited, but then they didn't actually go anywhere. They just did some face masks, which is fine. I guess this is a lot of people to bring to the spa.
Well, it wasn't even face masks. It was like DIY facial stuff that they were doing.
Yeah, face masks.
Yeah, it's just...
They went to Target. They got some face masks.
Anybody could do that, though. So that's where it was kind of like, oh, right.
Well, you know what? It was fine, because when she said they were going to the spa to get facials, I got concerned, because some people, when you get a facial, the next day or two, not good. You wake up with things that have risen to the surface of your skin, and you're not really looking your best for pictures.
Some redness, some irritation.
So I'm glad to see these were just, store quality face masks that probably are not going to do too much.
Very good. And meanwhile, the boys are going to be hanging out with David. They're going to be having fun on their own because...
Guys' night.
Everybody except Gabe, who was at the girls' party still.
He was eating all the food.
He was eating all that was where the food was, so I'd probably stay there too.
Christine then tells us a little story that I think is meant to be endearing about when David was going to move in with her and Truly, just a few months ago. And Truly confided in her that she was nervous about it. She doesn't really know this man. She doesn't really know men. She hasn't really lived with a man. And Christine was like, well, me either.
Same girl, same.
Also nervous.
I guess that is kind of a weird step, but it's just strange to have it so involved because Isabel not living there anymore. She moved out. So it's just Christine and Truly at home and now David. I feel like that's a big ask.
Well, it's a big step, right? Because not only is Truly still at home, Truly is 13 years old. Like, she's a teenager. She has a long time to go still to be living in this house with them. That's why I guess I feel like the 10 months thing, that feels okay to me personally. If you're an empty nester, make your own decisions. You're an adult. You know the things to do to protect yourself and make sure that, you go into a marriage and you don't leave it with less than you came in with, unlike Janelle.
Yeah.
But when there's a kid involved, it's a lot more complicated.
On the other hand, you have Mykelti, who's trying to lower herself down to almost a teenage status, who's already accepting David as her stepfather and just referring to him as stepfather.
Oh, is she the one who started saying that?
Yes.
That the conversation later led into? That was
Aspen
because
cringed at the word because Aspen was basically saying that she was excited. Aspen, Isabel, and Truly all agreed. They're excited about the wedding. This seemed like more of a I support mom in this, not so much a rah-rah sort of cheering on of David necessarily. Mykelti always takes it that direction because I think she's just kind of programmed to cater to the male emotions. She has to, there's fragile masculinity that she's been involved with.
That's also kind of what they learned growing up, right? Was they were supposed to be like, yes, we're so excited about Robin. Robin in particular. Everything about Robin, all of her personal attributes, we are loving her because Dad told us to say that.
Well, and they're just, she's using the delicate gloves here to maneuver this situation where she's trying to be as accepting and positive about David joining their family.
Aspen's always been a little bit more cautious in a lot of things, right? Like, we're going to watch the season 13 stuff. We're going to go back and do the rewatch after we end all of this. And in that season is when they're getting ready to move to Flagstaff. And she's like, I don't get it. Like, what is the rush? Why are you guys doing this? Like, it's a little much, a little fast. And so I feel like this is all probably like pretty counter to her natural way of doing things. Although we also are going to watch her wedding, and I don't remember how long she was with Mitch, so...
I guess we'll start the clock. Well, we saw at the end of season 12, they introduced Mitch, which he'd probably been hanging around for like 6 months before that, and they just never brought him up on camera because there was other storylines that they were trying to push. So they couldn't work that into the existing storyline for season 12, so they saved him for the end and then got him roaring for season 13 there.
And they're still getting us used to Tony at that point. No one's used to Tony, that's pretty clear.
Still not.
Even throughout this episode.
So Mykelti obviously approves of the marriage, and it kind of becomes a little competitive with some of David's daughters. Wink, wink. If you know, you know. But I think that was Ray, which some people were getting weird vibes from Ray. I don't know if I necessarily did. There wasn't enough information. I don't know that we can judge
any of David's children from 2 seconds of being on the screen.
I'm not basing it off of and I am quick to judge. I didn't get a read though, based on what we had.
Well, we also had to see her interacting with Mykelti.
So I just filed that into inconclusive. Inconclusive for me, but I'm going to be on alert for the next episode if there's anything suspicious that would come from that. How did we feel about Christine's makeup?
All right. The eyebrows were too dark.
Too dark.
Now, I will say they photographed pretty okay. They didn't look quite so dark in some of the pictures, but maybe it's because they were retouched. I don't know. They were a little too dark for my taste.
Yeah, she was very excited about it. And I was like, I don't know if this is the look. This
eyebrows,
is what it's going to be for tomorrow, for the day.
They continue to be a struggle on this show.
The family in general. Speaking of brows, we got to go to Parowan, where things are getting a little spoopy.
Yeah, we're at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And Mary is out on the porch hanging up some ghosts because she's setting up her haunted house.
Yeah, she has her resting witch face shirt on because it's the beginning of October, so she's ready to go.
Full theme. She goes hard when she finds a theme.
And she's wishing Christine the best, but then gets to bring us down a notch, reminding us about how depressing the rest of the state of the family is, how disconnected everything is.
I was kind of disappointed that she wasn't invited.
It seemed fitting.
I guess.
It seemed fitting.
I mean, after Christine told her, I wouldn't have had you come in the room if it was my birth, back when she missed Maddie giving birth to Axel, I guess we should have known that she wouldn't then be invited to her future wedding.
I think Christine just probably thought Mary's still in with Robin, so if I did invite her, I would be worried about things that she would see or hear that she would then circle back with Robin on.
You think she'd be there texting updates the whole time to Robin?
What do you think would happen?
Sending pics?
When that lap dance starts at the reception and Mary was there. It would get awkward pretty quick.
All right. I mean, I think Mary would be too into the lap dance. She'd be distracted. You didn't even have time to take your phone out. Be real. She'd be sloshed within the first 2 minutes of the reception.
If we know anything about Mary, she always has her phone on her.
She does. She's ready to do LuLaRoe live from anywhere.
And she's always awaiting a group text from the family to invite her over, but she's not invited.
I would have liked to have seen her go. That's all I'm saying. I think that would have been nice.
It would have been good content.
I do feel like she was trying to be genuine on the porch when she was, telling us she was happy that Christine found happiness.
Now,
the state of the family, unfortunate, but,
yeah.
happiness, good.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some ghosts to hunt. Thank you. Please vacate the premises. You did not pay a ticket for the spoopy haunted experience, so get out of here.
I can't grant you entry.
Right, yeah.
You can only see the exterior of the house.
Porch, that's it.
At one point, Mykelti gives Christine permission to get married.
Okay.
I mean, no one asked.
Too late. Janelle gave her approval, though, which that I would take with a little bit more credence to it.
Okay.
Her bar's very low, though, because then she starts going through her reasons of why she approves, and it's where, he helps out with setting up the parties and stuff when they do parties.
That's what I'm saying. The bar is so low for whoever their next companion is. And again, I'm not saying that David sucks. I'm just saying Cody really, really, really sucked.
So by comparison, anyone is going to be a saint, the best man ever that you've ever met and interacted with for any reason. Janelle is so impressed with David as a person because he just tells everyone to come on and hang over. I think she mixed up her words there. Come over.
She's been married to Cody for too long.
Yeah, it's fried.
We can't get a phrase out.
Nope, not going to happen. We're just going to mix a couple of things together. But now it is officially rehearsal time. But the wedding planner isn't here?
Okay, what's up with that? Did they pay a wedding planner and they just didn't show up? Or they only paid someone to... Because you can pay someone just to do the day of the wedding.
Oh, but don't cheap out on that.
No, what was the budget?
You have to rehearse.
Well, Aspen's going to make sure that we do rehearse. Because whenever someone needs to step up and lead this family and be a parent to one of these parents, it's Aspen.
Or
and
it's
Logan.
Yeah, Logan was there, but he wasn't willing to be on camera. So Aspen had to take on this responsibility.
I'm sure he had some other big responsibility that we didn't see.
They were like, your job is to keep Cody away from here. Don't let him know where this is taking place.
You think they told him it was somewhere else?
Maybe that's why she planned it around Robin's birthday. She knew Cody was going to be incapacitated for 11 days around Robin's birthday, at least. So
they were out of town. Remember? They were somewhere in Texas, where a Pew Pew show was.
Yeah, a convention for Cody's work.
Right.
Had to get out of town.
So this is real impromptu, but Aspen is here to be the wedding planner.
And she's herding cats. This is very disjointed.
And dressed for a housewives reunion, right?
Aspen had and I'm not knocking it because she was out there.
She owned it.
She owned it.
It was a choice, though.
It just didn't seem to fit the rest of the vibe.
Honestly, there were some people who were just wearing jeans. Tony wore jeans the whole time. We saw him walk out at the end of the episode. He's still wearing jeans. I'm pretty sure he wore jeans to the wedding. Did he?
He had gym shorts when they first walked in.
Okay, so then that's his final outfit.
So
are we done?
That might be the situation.
Anyway.
So
she's got like this fake pleather situation going on.
A lot of ruffles. Oh, man. I was more concerned with where the rehearsals were going. It was a lot of Walking Dead type shuffling around that was just herds of people who were just kind of meandering through this beautiful place. I mean, it looked gorgeous. I liked the venue.
Is there like a lot to coordinate, though? I understand everybody walked in, right? But there's no wedding party because Christine made a big deal about that. That's an untraditional thing that they're doing, where they're not going to have a wedding party. It's just going to be Christine and David up there alone with the officiant.
I think the main part that Christine was concerned about was some of the aisle handoffs that are going to take place because she's having Peyton walk her down the aisle most of the way. And then her dad, who's been very sick for the better part of the last 15 years, probably. He has good days. He has bad days. We're hoping tomorrow's a good day. We're going to keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Just do the handoff here to David up at the front of the aisle.
It's a real Phyllis's wedding situation.
Yes, which means that Peyton is Michael Scott.
And that he's going to be very upset when Christine's dad is able to stand up and make it all the way to the end of the altar.
This is bullshit.
Which she kept calling the stage, but...
Oh, the stage. Well, it's not really an altar. It's not a religious ceremony, I suppose.
All right, we'll call it a stage then. She's getting choked up. She's trying to explain to everybody what's going on. Then we did the whole little shuffle, directing traffic. We get all the way to the front, or at least David gets all the way to the front. He's about to get up the stage.
He takes a tumble.
Well, he says whoever is with him, he looks at him and says, watch this. Watch this drive.
I think it was Ray.
And then he tumbles. He acts like he tripped and he tumbles across the stage.
He did a tuck and roll.
Okay, but I think the majority of people thought he actually fell.
No.
Like who were there.
Yeah, but you can hear it was definitely
it was a setup.
And you can see at the beginning of it. But if you just happened to look over and you saw the roll part, it might have looked like he did trip.
He accused someone of pushing him. Maybe it was one of Robin's spirit babies. Do you think she sent them?
You think Annabelle was there to trip him?
Little Annabelle Brown.
Annabelle Brown grabbed him by the ankles and was like, no.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened, Corey. I think that we need a paranormal team to come and investigate.
Well, we could just call Mary. I'm sure she has.
She's going to bring an EMF detector.
I'm sure she has a spirit box laying around at Lizzie's Heritage Inn.
If not, Mary, you need to invest in that and allow people to keep those in their rooms for an extra charge. Christine is just really touched that her dad's going to finish walking her up the aisle because he's been sick for 15 years. Again, this is the dad that Cody wouldn't let her go visit because that's a vacation and she needed to save her grocery money if she wanted to go do that. Felt the need to remind everyone about that because I'm petty.
It's a big part of the story. Well, yeah, I didn't like how he had to keep intercutting Cody's dumb mug into these moments where it was like, I really didn't need Cody's commentary on this part of the episode, where he's talking about randomly as part of this rehearsal. It's Cody's input about how shitty the wedding with Christine was.
It was very lackluster.
And so he wishes Christine well and hopes that she gets the wedding she's always dreamed of. If it's a beautiful space and David's digging on her, I thought he said dicking on her for a second. And it's like, well, maybe a little of both.
I mean, our freaky bitch would like that.
Yeah, a little of both, maybe.
We'll see it later at the reception.
It's going to happen.
They didn't do it at the ceremony. They saved it for the reception.
Tasteful.
But, yeah, I mean, okay. Again, he's trying to be nice. Is he trying to repair his image for next season? We're getting rid of angry Cody. Nobody really liked that version of Cody.
Yeah, we didn't like Cody as the villain. And so I think he was still leaning into that. And now we're going to go into the Cody redemption arc. And then Robin's going to have to be the villain.
But there is no redemption arc for him.
No. It's just he's going to try.
It.
Yeah, that's what the angle is going to be. But then I think Robin would be the villain because it's officially confirmed that she destroyed the family.
Christine's mom, this got me really upset where she starts to cry because, first of all, Christine's kids didn't even know that grandma was not at Grandma Annie. We should clarify. There's a lot of grandmas here.
Yes, a lot.
Grandma Annie was not at Christine's first wedding because she wasn't a member of the church, so she could not come because it's a closed spiritual ceremony. So I guess this is an important second chance for everybody.
This is good, yeah.
We do something fun after the rehearsal is over. Let Aspen rest her voice before she inevitably has to take charge again tomorrow.
I'm sure something's going to come up, yeah. But in the meantime, we have a riverboat ride down the Colorado River, which they had a band on there. They were playing music.
It's a float and bloat.
Excuse me? Is it a booze cruise?
I wouldn't be drinking. It's a booze cruise. I wouldn't be drinking, too much before I had to fit into fancy clothes the next day.
Yeah, that would be tough. Yeah, because we have Christine chugging a beer on the boat, which I did not. They tried to blur the can, but I did not peg her as a Michelob Ultra gal.
It wasn't her beer, to be fair.
Whose beer was it?
Wasn't it Hunter's?
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, they were calling for her to chug, and she did. She finished the beer, so.
She's a new woman. She drinks. She's got tattoos.
And drink like a man.
She has sex.
And spit like a man. But I did like this concept where they're not doing speeches at the wedding or at the reception tomorrow.
Well, because it's going to be on TV, and that's too hard for them to explain all these people who stood up and talked.
You just throw a lower third down there. Whatever. I wouldn't want people talking at the wedding or the reception either. So, no, it's a good call. And they're just going to pass around the microphone here. We got the band here. They already have the PA system. So here, you want to do a speech? Somebody better grab this microphone right now. And Janelle
swipes it
before they could even finish making the announcement, jumps up to then speak. So I don't know. Maybe she had she had some liquid courage.
And she was primed and ready to go.
I think she was ready to roll. And she regretted it immediately as soon as she stood up, because then you could tell she lost all of her talking points as soon as all of those eyes went on her. But she did her best to get through it.
She did. I mean, really, the biggest, most important part of the speech was, thank you for making me part of the deal. The dill.
I thought for a moment it was going to be a whole speech about how she's hit bottom now. She has nowhere to live. Thank you for making me part of your deal, because I'm going to need the spare bedroom. Because... or at least a place to plug in the RV. Something.
She doesn't know how to level it. She's going to need some help.
The self-leveling, yeah, you can't trust it. But Janelle don't need no man.
No, that's not part of her future plan. She's got a plan, a big adventure, in fact, planned for her life. But it doesn't involve any of the M's, a marriage or a man or money.
Well, yeah, hopefully. We can do this on a budget. Mary gets to share about how she's so excited that Christine deserves love, and that she gets that. And Mary's putting out all those positive vibes because she's hoping maybe she'll get a little bit in return too. She's anticipating that same sort of love story for herself. Just got to find somebody.
I hope she does, because I want to see the Mary wedding special.
I just want to see Mary dating in general.
Yeah, I hope that's a big part of a future season.
Although
she claims she's not dating on Friday with Friends.
Can you imagine the conversations that would take place on a date with Mary about how she hates circles? And just going into great detail about those types of things? That's the content that I want to see.
I want to see her make you pull off the side of the road so she can go get a gas station hoodie.
Oh, I thought you were going to different pull. I got nervous. Whoa, hey.
Whoa.
It's not that type of show. It's a family show.
Christine's dad shows up. Everyone gets off. What are we going to call this? The barge?
The floating barge.
And he's at the dock. He didn't get on the boat. And he's like whispering things to her, his hopes and dreams for her, that the next 20 years are going to be better than these last.
He kind of rips on Cody a little bit. I was hoping a lot of bit. He was mocking Cody. That was kind of fun.
Was it?
About how he was crying and whining about, oh, I can't believe I lost her.
He was just bawling, I can't believe I lost her. Like, you mean Cody, right?
I'm pretty sure he was talking about Cody, because who else would he be talking about? But I think maybe we shouldn't have chugged multiple beers before trying to have this sentimental moment with Dad. Maybe, because then Christine's kind of responding to some of this stuff, but it was like a very end of the night sort of conversation with two people who've been at the bar.
That's true. That's true.
And it kind of
it was hard to follow.
It was that level of exchange where but it's just other parts of the conversation that are then triggering other responses. So it was kind of veering all over the place between the two of them.
He is an elderly man.
I understand the situation.
Who looks a lot like baby Truly.
Oh. Why? Because she was bald for so long?
Yeah, I guess. It was oddly familiar. I don't think we've ever seen him on this show before. We've heard her talk about her dad, but I don't think we've seen her dad.
Well, yeah, she never saved up enough grocery money to go visit him, so he wasn't on the show. We don't know this guy.
I mean, he has every reason to despise Cody. All right, it's the day before, or it's the day of the wedding. We're here. It's the day of the wedding. Truly bursts through the door and yells, "Hello, my children."
I liked her purple hair.
Yeah, I also liked that Christine is okay with her having some personality.
Yeah, and it was color coordinated with the rest of her outfit that we see later on. So there's a theme. It was good. But yeah, everybody's doing hair and makeup. They're not doing bridal party stuff. Again, yeah, bucking the traditional trends here.
Well, because again, Mykelti is like, "What are you wearing?" Because she's just putting the little robe over her outfit to make sure she doesn't get any, makeup all over it as she's getting ready. And she's like, "You're supposed to be in your pajamas." Okay.
Well, if you want to be in your pajamas, you can be in your pajamas. But...
Christine didn't have 16 billion hours to pin different ideas on Pinterest for her wedding.
She's got stuff to do today.
So she's just going to wear her it was very Barbie-esque outfit with the bright pink pants and the little white shirt. But as we learned, it's not a traditional wedding.
Well, they're doing some stuff that's kind of traditional because the first time that David's going to see Christine is when she's walking down the aisle.
Yes, he did not pick out the dress.
Which blew Tony's mind. He couldn't believe that when he heard that.
Well, Tony also helped pick the dress.
I know. Well, I'm just glad that they didn't cut to Cody's interpretation for that. They should have asked Cody about the dress. Maybe I would have wanted to see that.
Oh, do we want to see him rate the dress?
Oh, that would be
Would
good
he
too.
have picked this dress?
Well, I think it's just funny because Cody picked Robin's dress. Tony picked Mykelti's dress. And so to have them both be like, "What? You didn't see the dress?" That would have been funny.
Well, I guess let's go to David's room because that's where Tony is with Silent Mitch. What a room, man, because that means David's got to have a whole conversation with Tony because Mitch isn't going to say much, which is maybe his best attribute.
The part that killed me was, when he got to the spot where they were just rapidly cutting everybody coming in to his room, where he just kept saying, "Oh, hey, it's so-and-so. Come on in. Oh, hey, look, it's this person. Come on in." And so like that was
thing over and
over and over. But it was just funny because it was like, well, yeah, who are the people who are in your room right now? It's Mitch, who's not saying anything, and Tony, who's doing all the talking. So he's like, yeah, anybody else walking by this room? Get in here. Come on in.
Well, Tony's ready to shake down Corbin, who is David's son-in-law, from what I understood.
It's David's daughter's husband.
And Corbin's going to be the one who's going to be the officiant of the wedding. So he's marrying David and Christine.
Because he's a licensed officiant. He
Yes.
did the official, he paid his $50. He took the quiz. They're not cousins.
He
Thumbs
has all
up.
the rights now.
That's it. He's done.
I feel like Tony asked him about it because Tony wanted to do it.
You thought there was a little bit of jealousy in there?
I think that Tony would have loved to have officiated a wedding. Pretty much any wedding, but this wedding in particular.
Yeah, and I think Christine knew better because Christine did not.
They were not going to ask Tony.
No, Christine did not approve of Tony.
Too many jokes that opens the door to.
Well, because that's what they had to have that conversation with Corbin. They were like, look, we don't want any inappropriate jokes, which that doesn't sound like our freaky bitch, but they want it short. They want to talk about their love, and they want to talk about finding love later on in life. Those are the three themes that you can stick with.
Things are going wrong kind of already. We're not even at the day of. It's another shirt situation. Cody has always forgotten a shirt. David doesn't remember which shirt to wear. He has too many shirts, so I guess that's an improvement.
Do you think Christine was compensating because...
This is a learned thing.
Well, at Mykelti's wedding, she forgot Cody's shirt, and so she was like, I need to send David with 2 shirts.
Maybe. So he's got a rust color shirt and a plum colored shirt, and he can't remember for the life of him which one Christine told him to wear.
Oh man, don't wear the plum one. That's going to be right. Cody used to wear purple shirts all the time.
They lavender, much lighter purple.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Clearly, I preferred the plum over the rust.
Okay, yeah.
Tony doesn't like any of these colors. He makes sure to tell David, these were really hard colors to find, by the way.
Which he's one to talk, because I'm pretty sure that him and Mykelti had quite the assortment of wedding colors.
Do we not remember when it was like, wasn't it like maroon, like this red and a silver and teal and yellow? They had a lot of wedding colors.
Yeah, and it was kind of clashy a little bit.
I think they dropped the teal and the yellow at some point. But anyway, one to talk, criticizing someone else's wedding colors. Now we have Aspen, Mykelti, and Isabel. They have gifts for Christine. They're doing something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, which they kind of butchered.
Kind of a take on it. It's not really that.
Well, they butchered it setting it up, saying it's something blue, something, something.
Well, Aspen doesn't know.
I actually don't remember anything being blue. Do you?
No, because that's what she said. That's the usual tradition, and they're doing their own version
they've modified
of it.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
So Isabel started with shoes with pennies on the bottom, which it did not look like the Crocs that Christine had taken a photo of. So I don't know. Did she wear those for the ceremony, and then they switched over to the Crocs for the reception, maybe?
Oh, well, I think she wore the Crocs to the rehearsal.
Okay.
But anyway, yes, they've got pennies. Not just Christine's shoe, but it also looked like one was Truly's shoe, which was cute.
Yeah, I was
like
going
she
to
had
say,
two different shoes.
There
in
were
her
two
hand.
different shoes, so I hope we get a matching pair.
Or maybe one was her shoe for the reception.
Or a shoe where it was you could pick, did you want something with a heel? Did you want something flatter? They had to have backup options available. I'm not sure.
Aspen gives her an engraved bracelet with her initial and David's initial and their wedding date.
It's like a charm bracelet for your neck, but for your wrist for the wedding.
And she gives her earrings from her wedding if she wants to wear them. And Mykelti just straight up regifts something. She has
she whips it out too.
A knife with like no protection. Just out here.
Swinging a blade around.
Swinging this knife around.
With a room full of people.
That they cut their wedding cakes with. So
yeah, I brought this to cut the cake so you can cut your cake. Shring. But anyway, that leads us into the next big moment, which we have Isabel and Aspen in the bathroom having a little heart-to-heart moment where Isabel is very concerned. She is voicing her concern to Aspen.
As one does with their hairdresser.
Correct, yes, because Aspen is doing Izzy's hair in the bathroom here. And Isabel's asking, is it weird to refer to David as stepdad? And as soon as the word stepdad comes out, Aspen is not interested in this at all. She winces in pain.
She's a physical response.
Contorts her face, and she's like, "No, we're not doing stepdad stuff.
We'll just say he's family.
He's mom's husband. That's what I'm going to be referring to him as. Hashtag not my daddy.
Hashtag never had a daddy. Daddy Logan.
Yeah, legal daddy.
No one will take his place.
Aspen, I think she has enough parents to parent, so she doesn't want anybody else. She
can't take another one on.
She cannot take another one. She doesn't want to be a stepmom.
I mean, this is also an adult who's nearing in on 30. Does she need a stepdad? Not really. She barely had a dad.
She didn't have a dad.
I mean, she arguably got the best version of Cody.
Before he soured. But then on the Discord, people were having the discussion. What would we call him? Dad? Daddy? And I threw out, maybe it should be Zaddy. Call him Zaddy. People were saying Daddy David. I don't know why that one made me uncomfortable.
Daddy Warbucks.
No, wait, what's his... No, what's his... No, Daddy Woosley. What was his name?
Yeah, David Woolsey.
Woosley?
Woolley.
David Woolley.
Wow, we really just fucked that up. Yeah. Butchered that.
David Woolley.
I don't care. It's not Christine's last name.
Daddy Woolley.
Although I guess maybe it is, but she's just going to publicly beat Christine Brown. Mary is changing her last name. That's something we didn't talk about.
Oh.
No longer going to be Mary Brown.
Not really part of the family anyway. Oh, well.
Oh, the distance that Cody was wishing for years now.
And now he kind of misses her as part of that, now that there's so much distance, but that's okay. I thought it was interesting that Cody automatically assumed, oh, Truly isn't going to call David dad.
Okay, that was weird.
And his reasoning was so backwards because he was like, oh, she's 13.
She's grown.
She's, basically an adult.
This is the point where I typically abandon them.
Hands off. You're on your own. Good luck. I don't think that's a safe assumption because, if you're going to spend at least the next 5 years with this guy.
She's going to spend more time with him than she spends with Cody.
Then she's spent with Cody in her entire life is how we need to quantify this.
Yeah, I think it'll be not even midway through next season. Well, I guess next season will be leading up to the wedding, right? Because we have to go back in time. But at some point, it won't take long. David will be daddy.
It's the whole, sepia tone flashback. The entire season will be sepia tone. Because technically we're ahead in the timeline now.
They're going to make us watch the wedding again, right? They're going to, maybe not the whole thing. We'll get like a cut down version of it. But how are they going to build that into the season?
I don't know. They skipped Logan's wedding. The sons of bitches.
I don't know. Did they? We left off in October.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe we're right on the cusp of it.
I mean, or they'll just like not mention it, just like they never mentioned Glenn.
If they just gloss right over it, then I'm going to be very upset.
I don't feel like they can because
there's so much happen.
The next interaction that's where they're all going to be together next. How do you just pretend that didn't happen? Because after that, it's going to be Mykelti having the twins.
Yep.
So you can't act like that's the first time that Christine's been in a room with Robin.
Maybe they will. They'll try. They're going to try to do that.
Let's see how they try to fraud us because it won't get past us.
Yeah, the acting chops go for that to convince me of it.
All right, so truly, Cody's out, David's in, right? That's what's happening. 2024 ins and outs. Also out is Kayla's relationship with Cody. Also trading Cody for David.
Yeah, in a different capacity here. And that's what I thought to myself. If there's any justice in the universe, it will make Caleb as obsessed with David as Cody was obsessed with him.
He is like very enthusiastic about David.
It's like at the beginning of Step Brothers when the dad meets Derek at the dinner and he's just enthralled and completely captivated by him. Just the glimmer in his eyes.
Yes, his eyes lit up. That's what I was about to say before. I've never seen him so enthusiastic when being filmed.
It's like he turned the corner and made eye contact with David like he was an elk made out of cake.
I was scared of where you were going with that.
Oh, where did you think that was going?
Maybe it had to do with underage girls.
Oh, no. No, that is my usual go-to for Caleb.
No, the cake's better. The cake was a masterpiece, and so is David. Also, a true masterpiece, Christine's hair and makeup look. Questionable on the eyebrows. We're going to stick with that.
There might be some regret there.
But Aspen takes one look at her and goes, "You're going to get it."
Pretty much, that's the plan.
You're going to get it, girl.
What do you think I'm doing this for?
Our freaky bitch cannot wait to lather her hands all over that bald head tonight.
Oh, God. The big bald head.
The big bald head. Is that why Cody never shaved his head? Do you think?
Oh, he had to keep distance.
Christine would be too into it.
Yeah. And he would lose Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Janelle wants the pony.
Janelle wants something
It is
to hold on
hard to be a polygamous man, isn't it? To make everyone happy.
Just shave half your head.
He did kind of do both, didn't he? He balded in some spots, and he let the other hair grow longer.
Kind of worked out that way, yeah.
Just being fair.
He's just doing the
being
Two-Face
equitable.
look. Yeah, Two-Face look from Batman.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
This is Ray Slater from the Sore Losers, here to tell you about the legacy of excellence Toyota's been building for years. From developing hybrid technology to upping the standards of efficiency and safety, Toyota is always innovating, always making progress. And with a superior lineup of in-stock SUVs, including the adventure-ready RAV4 and capable, affordable Corolla Cross, you can experience the legacy of Toyota for yourself. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time, minimum $10 per order, service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door. This Halloween.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We're still trying to sell David to everyone. So Isabel is telling Christine about the moment when it really clicked for her. When she said, you know what? David's a good guy and he can have my mom. Where were they? They were somewhere out to eat. I made that up.
They were on vacation. Yeah,
okay.
They were at the mouse's house.
Oh, of course. Of course they were. Where else do they spend their free time when they're not filming? So they're at Disney. Are we allowed to say that, or will Disney now
that's fine.
want money from us?
I'm sure you can mention the company name, but
maybe we'll stick with the mouse.
Don't disparage it. Yeah.
Well, he turned to Christine and he just looked at her and said, "I love you so much."
And it was so heartfelt, or in this case, thumb felt. And
what? You think he looks like a thumb?
He's got thumb features. I don't know. It just feels right.
All right.
I'm not knocking it.
This has been a tough episode for David, hasn't it?
They're not going to get easier from here, bud.
This made me a little sad because you know that Cody never did that with Christine. And that's why it was something that stood out so much to Isabel.
Yeah, that she's never heard a man say that he loves her mom.
Express so ardently that he loves her. It was depressing. Maddie, though, I thought we were going to get a really good story out of her because we got the crying in the trailer for this. We don't get anything.
She was starting in on the story, and then she was apprehensive about even bringing it up because she felt like she was going to cry. And then she continued to try to start to tell the story, immediately starts crying, and then just says, "I just love him so much." And it was like, no, what was the story? I need to know the story.
You know what was hard about all of this was everyone kept saying, "I love David so much," but no one wanted to draw a comparison between her relationship with David and the prior relationship with Cody. And I feel like that was missing.
I feel like we needed a rule that we should have shared all of our emotional stories before we did our makeup. So then that way we're not holding back on any of this sharing that's happening here.
Again, I need someone to start producing this show.
Why did you guys try to have these heartfelt conversations after Maddie's hair and makeup was done? You know she's going to double back on that.
Can't do it. Maybe it was a story about her witnessing Caleb bonding with David.
And then she was like, oh God, then Dad'll see the footage and it'll break him. I can't share that story.
One betrayal after another.
I can't share that story here. It's not a safe space.
Christine is already giving today 10 out of 10. It's significantly better than her first wedding, and the wedding hasn't even started yet.
That's pretty confident.
It is. And we leave them off. They all file out one by one. Tony still wearing his jeans. He will eventually change into dress pants.
Okay.
At the last possible moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
And they arrive at the John Wayne room.
That's fitting.
Yeah.
Seems poetic.
A lot of wood paneling, which is fitting based on the name, right?
It makes sense. And it's just something else for Cody to be jealous and upset about, that he wasn't able to get ready in I almost said John Wayne Gacy room. So that was just immediately where that went. That's different. Here's your clown makeup. Here's your floorboards where you can pry them up. Here's some rope where you can tie some knots.
Here's some directions to an arcade. Good luck.
Here's a car to just cruise around in at night.
It's fucked up.
It's all on theme.
And she has to make her way out of the room. She's a little overwhelmed. She's got to sit in the hallway for a little while.
Yeah, she's a little overstimulated.
And I know that.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's because it's time to get ready, and she's like, I just need to sit on the floor for a minute and just stare off into the distance here, kind of gather my thoughts.
Got to ground herself because the ceremony is coming up next.
Next time, I don't even know what else was happening with the wedding, because all that I saw was Robin grabbing Cody's face and open-eyed kissing him and waving the camera off.
It was jarring to everybody who saw it. It was disturbing.
It wasn't as upsetting as when Cody pointed at the camera and yelled, "Tell the world," to Janelle as part of their fight. But it's right up there.
Is it a close second, maybe?
It's very close second.
I don't know. Maybe third. I feel like Robin's midwife requiring a raincoat was a little more disturbing.
That's a throwback. Yeah.
That's a deep cut. All right, so we're going to watch the rest of the wedding next week. You want me to read the description?
Yeah, they cut the lap dance out, huh? They didn't put that in the preview.
No. Yeah, they did.
It was
very little
tame,
bit of it.
Very tame. And they didn't call it out or actually verbalize what it was. It was just one brief little moment of it.
Can I tell you, I feel like they took this episode description from a press release.
I don't know what they did, because the episode, the schedule that they had on there, it's still showing like rerun episodes of the Christine and Cody divorce stuff. So it was like the first episodes of season 16.
Are you ready to hear the description, though? Because I think it for sure sounds like it came from a press release.
All right, let's hear it.
Christine Brown and David Woolley are getting married in a lavish ceremony set against the red cliffs of the Utah desert, and you are invited. Christine will finally get the wedding she never had when she became Cody Brown's third wife decades ago.
Yeah, it's a little bit of fluff in there. A little.
Do we have to name everyone? Their full legal names?
Full legal names. Otherwise, you won't know who we're talking about.
All right, we promised. It's time to answer a few voicemails.
So we have our first voicemail here from Melanie.
Hi, Corey and Carly. This is legal wife Melanie. So we all know the Brown family's greatest hits, like Knife in the Kidneys or Taking It to the Nuts Edge. I'm a fan of the deep tracks, like the one where Christine teased Janelle about getting naked with Korean strangers, but not in front of her sister wife during Mykelti's bridal shower. I want to know, what are some of your favorite Brown family deep tracks?
Thank you, Melanie. I enjoy this question. It's kind of hard to think of some deep tracks, just spitballing here. I would say Beer and Skittles stands out to me because of the fact that I thought he made that up. I thought Cody made that up. I didn't know that it was real.
It's a real thing.
But like, who says that?
Nobody.
No,
yeah.
No one.
Nobody does. And it's one of the only turns of phrase that Cody has ever gotten right on the show.
That's true. He needs a book of idioms and phrases as a gift because he butchers every single one of them.
Idioms for idiots, maybe?
Idioms for idiots.
Is that the book that we need to print and send to Cody?
Robin Brown needs to write it.
She can't write it.
No, I mean, she's got all this work on Muppet Babies.
No, she doesn't. Proven not accurate. I think my deep track is Look Down the Lens. I think
that's
kind of a bigger one too.
Yeah.
But I feel like
still scary.
It's overlooked a lot, but that's a good one.
I hope someone yells it at the wedding.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
That's another good classic one.
We do say that to each other quite a bit.
Yeah. Those are words to live by.
Y for Wyoming. Never forget that one.
And also, my all-time favorite moment in Sister Wives ever was when Cody walked through the door at Janelle's house in Las Vegas and goes, "Oh, hey, Gabriel." Gabriel doesn't say anything, walks out the door, and Cody just goes, "Huh." So probably that moment, too. I like that one. "Oh, hey, Gabriel." Huh.
Clueless. He's always been clueless as to what's going on with Gabe.
A little bit.
All right, you want to fire this one up from Christy?
All right, next one.
Hi, Corey and Carly. This is Legal Wife Christy. I love your podcast. I have 2 questions. First, let's say you've never seen the show before. You're folding laundry late Sunday night. You've stumbled across the 4th piece of the tell-all. With no knowledge of any of the series, how would you describe what you saw to your coworkers on Monday, specifically regarding Cody and David? Second part, we hear the phrase, "There's a lot to unpack. It's annoying." How would you rephrase that question?
Wow. I'm worried about answering this. How would we summarize season 18, Tell All Part 4, to someone, but also we've never seen it, we just caught this, and then also presumably they've probably never seen it.
I'm assuming that.
Because you never see someone out in the wild who also watches Sister Wives.
Right, not anymore.
So that's part 1. So should we go through that part?
Yeah.
There's this really angry, balding man who's really mad because his wives left him, even though he didn't want to be married to them anymore. And then he's got this other wife still who's like really confused all the time.
I thought you were describing Janelle for a second. Confused on whether or not she's still married to the guy or not.
Okay, and then there's the dark-haired one with the big eyebrows.
Who tries to cry but doesn't?
Who seems sedated, but then also flies off the handle at certain points in time.
Yeah, it wore off by the time we got to part 4. And then there's this Disney princess who's married to this thumb guy.
Well, they're not married yet.
Oh, not married
They're going to
yet.
be getting married.
Getting married.
But like, she didn't know him for that long.
Seems like she's a pretty good judge of character, though. Since she sunk the last 30 years into this other guy who's a total whack job.
And the host didn't ask a lot of good questions.
Aw, poor Suki.
She did better this time.
She tried.
And then there's a lot to unpack here. What would we say instead?
That is, so that's kind of become synonymous with, I feel like on the 90-day tell-alls.
Oh, it's like a drinking game for how many times that gets said.
Yeah, well, it was used as kind of a transition phrase where we're not going to keep talking about this. So I don't like that that's what it's been used for, because I think it used to be on, what was that, Real Housewives? That was probably where that started.
I mean, I don't know the origin of there's a lot to unpack here, but it definitely is used as like, well, that's too much for us to get through in this hour that we have of produced television. So let's move on to the next thing my cue card says.
Something else, yeah, that the producer has prepared me for, because I don't know what else to say to address this.
I think every Sister Wives tell-all interview should start with, give me your rose and thorn of the season.
I think I might go with the Olivia Plath approach, where she's basically like, I'm not a therapist. Maybe you should go speak to a therapist type of approach.
I mean, that does indicate there is a lot to work on here still.
Yeah. And I'm not the person who's professionally prepared to deal with whatever you're about to go through.
This is the thing, like usually the stuff that they shut down talking more about is the stuff we want to hear about. So I just keep going, keep asking questions.
Yeah, let the editors cut it down. If it ends up being a whole long conversation, oh well.
I don't care if we film for 16 hours.
They'll cut it out. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like on the What We Do in the Shadows show. They'll film for like 2 hours, and then it's like 30 seconds of content that they get out of it from actual runtime because you edit it down to those little moments, the best moments.
Thank you. I feel like that's a lesson for the editors of Sister Wives. We don't need everything. We just need the good stuff.
Just the good stuff, please.
Thank you so much for your voicemails. And again, if you're a legal wife on our Patreon, you got our digits, so leave us a message and we'll answer it on an upcoming episode.
Yeah, I thought the phone number was broken for a while there. We didn't get any voicemails for a minute. I was getting nervous, but then they all came rushing in on the break.
Same time.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next week.
We all have dreams. Dream home renovations, dream vacations, or sending our kids to their dream colleges. But finding straightforward ways to turn those dreams into realistic goals, that's where things get tricky. Merrill understands that. That's why, with a dedicated Merrill advisor, you get a personalized plan and a clear path forward. And having the bull at your back helps your whole financial life move with you. So when your plans change, Merrill is with you every step of the way. Go to ml.com/bullish to learn more. Merrill, a Bank of America company. What would you like the power to do? Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC.